Hello, One Piece enthusiasts. I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about Luffy's true dream. So, as of chapter 1060, we finally got the crew's reaction to Luffy's dream. True dream, to be honest. So, we'll get to that in a sec, but it's sort of surprising that after 1000 chapters, 1005, 1050 to be exact, 1060 to be exact, uh, the crew never got to hear Luffy's true dream. We've sort of taken it for granted, or perhaps it was in the back burner of our minds, that Luffy has another dream surpassing becoming king of the pirates that we have yet to know about, and the crew has no idea about. I mean, it finally got brought up, so considering the crew now got whatever his dream was, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to, sort of introduce the dream. Apparently, Oda still wants to keep it a secret from us, so let's figure it out for ourselves. To start off, the crew's reaction to Luffy's dream is natural, expected, not so surprising, and the same reactions we've gotten from people that got to know his dream before. It's either you're laughing, either if you know Luffy quite well, you'd be like, yeah, that's the Luffy sort of thing to do. That's what Nami did, and other one being surprised. Among which, the one that stood out the most was Nami's reaction to Luffy's dream, because the way Nami understands Luffy, for her, it's nothing unnatural, it's nothing out of the ordinary if you know the kind of man Luffy is. Which goes to show it sort of aligns with Luffy's personality, and on the other hand, it's sort of ridiculous and shocking at the same time, because it's a crazy dream. We know Luffy's dream by in and of itself is crazy. Stuff he intends to do in arcs, whether it be the execution of defeating an emperor, the execution of saving a country, or making decisions that wouldn't be normal under basic circumstances or in human psychology. For example, going after Sanji, even though they have Kaido to take care of, and inviting another and Yonko in to fight with Luffy as well, and bunch of other reasonings for whatever things he does. It's always unnatural. It's always out of the ordinary. And so the dream lines up with the kind of person Luffy is, and I like the comment of how you need to become the Pirate King in order to achieve that dream of yours, which means it's a step beyond that and something that might help him to realize a true dream of his. We'll get to that in a sec. We can go back to reactions to Whitebeard, Odin, Shanks, Rayleigh. At first, it would seem as though Shanks commented on Luffy being the same as Roger when he said, I want to become king of the pirates. And I don't think that's the case. I really don't think that's the case. It's not that significant enough. To begin with, when we first got to hear Shanks' reaction and his conversation with Rayleigh, he said that I saw a kid said the same word as Roger did, like Captain Roger did. So, well, the first impression is, okay, Luffy said he's gonna become Pirate King, Roger was the Pirate King, makes a lot of sense. But when we got to see Rayleigh, and when we got to see the flashbacks and everything, the lines just blurred out. And the same thing happened with Roger when he said it to Odin and Whitebeard. The reactions are the same, and it's been blurred out. We've never got to hear it before. For some of the people that have been talking about Luffy's true dream for quite a while, they're saying that Luffy's already said it. Whether it be his friends get to eat as much as they want to, I want to be the freest man in the world. I don't think that's the case, because if Oda's going to go blur out the dream, it's not something that we already know about. It's something even more ridiculous than what it was, or what we think it is. To further sort of solidify on this, Oda doesn't just blur. Luffy blurs out a lot of stuff. Like, Luffy spurts out a bunch of stuff That is, I want to save the country, I want to help them do this, help them do that, make them have as much food as possible, make sure that they don't have to go through the same pain that they already did for the past whatever years. That's the sort of thing Luffy spats out. Every one of them could be said that it's ridiculous. Kaido said to become king of the pirates is ridiculous. So everything almost when it comes to achieving Luffy's goals, remember goals is different from dream, is always ridiculous, and this is something grandier than that. For people who already know Luffy, for people who already knew Roger, they were doing ridiculous stuff to begin with. But for people like that who do know Luffy, who's been doing ridiculous stuff ever since he's been introduced in their lives, this is even surprising and funnier than what it normally is. And now we can get back to the conclusion that Roger and Luffy's dreams are the same. As of this point, if any of you argue that the dreams are different, I don't know what to say to you guys. The dream Luffy and Roger had, Luffy has. And the thing that connected Shanks to Luffy and then made him give his straw hat to Luffy and for Rayleigh to trust someone like Luffy and train him to prepare him for the new world, it'd have to be way more grandeur than becoming Pirate King. Because a lot of other people want to become Pirate King. Makes no difference. Kid wants to be the Pirate King. Kaido wanted to be the Pirate King. Blackbeard wants to be the Pirate King. But this is something way beyond that, and this is something only Luffy and Roger said, and Yamato also confirms it by reading it from Oden's logbook that this famous person that lived had the same dream as Luffy. Why would I laugh at that? And that was Roger. And Yamato said that to Ace. She didn't mention or specify the name, but it's very obvious. Now, as to what the dream actually is, we've got to see the world government in action for quite a while. Im-sama, as of chapter 1060, literally blew up an island because it was risky for him and is feeding Marines misinformation about what he's doing. He's been misinforming everyone in the world about what the true agenda of the world government is. The general population have no idea about the corruption that goes on with the world government, and people opposing the world government, pirates and revolutionaries alike, are being thrown as criminals. And the masses of the world believe it to be true, and now with Dragon making a significant move, it's starting to change, and the world government starting to take sort of steps to nullify that effect, to stop that. The same way Ohara was stopped, the same thing that happened in Void Century. They've been oppressing everyone, whether it be commoners, different races, the civilians, everyone in the world that's living under the world government are being treated as slaves and nothing more than a means to get what they want, which is to stay in power. They don't allow freedom to anyone. Yes, you could do whatever you want as long as you don't sort of you don't go against the world government's intentions or agenda, like reading the poneglyphs, researching about the Void Century, and becoming a pirate, looting everyone. Okay, that's bad in general. Becoming king of the pirates, finding Laugh Tale, every single one of that you cannot do for the world government to be in peace with you. And so, conclusion is, Im-sama wants complete control, the world government wants complete control of the world so that they stay in power. And what is the opposite of that? Freedom. Luffy's been talking about freedom ever since we've got introduced to him in the story, whether it be freeing his friends, freeing an island from a tyrant, freeing people from being slaves or being sold off at the market, for example, Sabaody. Everything comes back to Luffy being the person who brings freedom to the world. And Joy Boy has always been the bringer of freedom. Joy Boy has known to put smiles on people's faces and bring freedom to them. So, and Luffy, with his remarks of being free, I want to be the freest man in the world, after becoming king of the pirates, everything aligns with freedom. He brings joy to people by bringing freedom to them, by bringing freedom to people who are being oppressed, who are being enslaved, and are being fed misinformation. This ties all back into Luffy's final opponent, and that's for a later video, but I know I've been building it up. I'm trying to prepare for the best time to put it out. But for now, it has nothing to do with freedom that we have yet to know about. It's not being the freest man in the world, but rather, in my opinion, I think what he wants to do is create a free world. Every single thing that Luffy has said, being the freest man in the world, allowing his friends to have whatever they want to, eat whatever they want, anytime they want, freeing people from slavery, saying that you cannot be shackled down, the same way he said to Yamato, when Kaido was basically shackling Yamato down and everything. Everything comes back to freedom and being the freest man in the world. It would absolutely mean that he wants everyone else to live in freedom as well. Yes, sometimes he can be a little, forcing. For example, he forced Sanji to join the crew with him, but most usually, Luffy always helps someone out when they're not in free, when they're not free. And everyone who joined Luffy's crew, yes, Luffy does sort of tell people to join his crew here and there, but in most prime examples, for example, when Vivi decided not to join the crew, when the Grand Fleet was formed, Luffy never forced anyone to become the Grand Fleet or to join his crew. He said, do whatever you want to do. It's your life, you do whatever you want. And the people that Luffy really, really forces to join his crew are people that he knows that will achieve their dream if they join Luffy's crew. Luffy never said anyone, you have to join the crew because you have to make me Pirate King, but rather, you join the crew because you're interesting and my dream aligns with yours. So there's no harm in joining my crew. And for someone like that to create a free world, or to make everyone free, is a ridiculous, funny, and hilarious dream. That is it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Put down your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, peace.